Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. I got another Master Duel video for you. Apologies for the late upload today, but I wanted to make sure that we talked about the upcoming Forbidden and Limited list today. I only saw it as I was out the door on the way to work, and now that I have a chance to actually sit and look and talk about it a little bit, we're going to go over it and see just how big of an impact this is going to have, because I think this may just be Master Duel's most impactful ban list for one simple reason alone. We're not going to talk about the forbidden cards just yet. We're going to skip straight to the good stuff, which is Maxx C going from 2 copies to 1. One more roach. One more roach. If we can just get one more off of this list, then we will be in a format without Maxx C. I have often thought that the biggest thing holding back Master Duel was the existence of Maxx C, and now especially that something like Appaloosa is also gone, I can say with complete confidence that if this last copy of Maxx C gets banned, Master Duel is just far and away the best format. It's personally been my favorite format for quite a while, but I think that TCG has had some like pros and cons, but the biggest pro has definitely been no Maxx C on TCG side. So if we can just get this down to 0, then I really do think that Master Duel will just be far and away the best of the Yu-Gi-Oh formats. This is something that was not completely unexpected though. If you follow the OCG and its ban list at all, Maxx C did very recently get limited in the OCG as well. So who knows, maybe we'll see that go from 1 to 0 in that format as well. Would also be excellent to see. But yeah, no, I think I speak for literally everybody when I say that I am very excited to see Maxx C go from 2 copies down to 1. And the other thing too is that if Maxx C does end up getting banned, then I think we can definitely start looking at taking care of some other cards that are commonly used and can be a little bit problematic. I'm thinking of like Called by the Grave, right? With Maxx C at 1 or ideally 0, Called by the Grave definitely does not need to exist at 2 copies. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring is another one. I think that, and we saw this in the OCG already with the card getting semi-limited, I think that especially with Maxx C banned, we could definitely see a world where we need fewer copies of Ash Blossom legal. Because even without Maxx C, I think its card, a hand trap in particular, you just main deck every single time. So yeah. Just sorry if this is all kind of like a lot and fast and sudden. I just have so many thoughts about this card going from 2 to 1, like I'm sure a lot of people do. Yeah, no, definitely fantastic. I don't think I need to really say much more else. Yeah. There are a lot of other things about this list that are worth noting, though. We're going to be talking about some of these other changes, too. Ryzeal Cross going from 3 to 0. So this is a very interesting way to hit Ryzeal. In paper play, in both TCG and OCG, it's been a lot of consistency hits. I think both formats hit Ice Ryzeal at one point. And we have been seeing a lot of the same here in Master Duel up to this point, right? X Ryzeal to 1, Sword Ryzeal to 1. I gotta say, I like this hit. I like this a lot more than just putting Ice Ryzeal, like, also to 1, right? Because I think Ryzeal Cross really was the most frustrating part about playing against Ryzeal decks. And I think Ryzeal feels a lot more fair as an archetype without Cross. I mean, Cross was just ridiculous, right? Negating on resolution is always insane. The fact that this recycles your engine while also drawing you more cards is also frankly insane. Highly searchable by multiple cards within the archetype. And really, there wasn't much of a reason to explore, like, much beyond, like, going Detonator Cross Pass in Ryzeal. You know, of course you have your Onamot and Mitsurugi engines on top of that, but, you know, as far as playing, like, other Ryzeal spell and trap cards, I mean, they all fell out of favor, because why would you play anything other than Cross, right? So yeah, I think this was a great way to balance Ryzeal, and I think with Cross banned, we could see a world where Extant Sword can come off the list, maybe not from 1 to 3 right away, but like 1 to 2, and then see if that's fine, and then possibly 2 to 3. Yeah, because I think ending on Detonator and some more rank 4s is completely fair. I think that's totally fine. So I'm pretty hugely in favor of this ban, even as somebody who did enjoy playing Ryzeal, or does. I don't think Ryzeal's dead with this ban, but it definitely gives Ryzeal decks a lot less oomph. Yeah, no, I think this was a fantastic hit. Again, it looks weird, but I actually do think this was correct. This, of course, we've already discussed. So all these semi-limits on this list are going to be for the Vanquish Soul archetype, Raisin, Stake Your Soul, and Xiaolong are all going from 3 copies to 2. And much like the last ban list, which hit cards that would support Yummy, it's pretty easy to infer by looking at this that we're going to be seeing the new Vanquish Soul cards coming into Master Duel in the near future. Holly Sue and the Field Spell. Definitely hugely looking forward to that. I love Vanquish Soul as an archetype. I've played it many times here on the channel in the past, and of course the new support is going to give the deck a lot more oomph. So yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty good indicator of things to come, and I think these are all fine semi-limits, right, for dealing with the Vanquish Soul deck. It's funny, Vanquish Soul in the TCG, they limited Raisin, although on the latest list they unlimited Raisin and then hit Holly Sue instead. So obviously they were, you know, trying to hit older cards, trying to get people to buy new packs, and then hitting the new stuff later. There's a chance we might see something like that in Master Duel 2, although to be fair, Master Duel has tended to, even beyond the OCG, kind of go beyond, or kind of go with more of its own thing a little more often, so maybe things will be a bit different, but yeah, I definitely think that these semi-limits are fine. I don't think they're unwarranted. Vanquish Soul is very strong with the new support, and yeah, I think this will be a nice way to sort of pre-hit the archetype coming into Master Duel. And finally, we have cards that are going from 2 or less to 3 copies. Phantom of Yubel is going to be the first one, which this, honestly, could have gone to 3 a very long time ago. Yeah, not much to say. Nice little buff for Yubel. They can actually make 2 Phantoms on turn 1 again like they used to for their combo line. And it'll definitely help the grind game as well. Maiden of White going from 2 to 3. I would argue this card never really needed to get hit in the first place. I think Maiden of White was totally fine to exist at 3 copies. But yeah, I mean, it's going back to 3, which is good. And it'll be a decent consistency buff for Blue Eyes, but I don't think Blue Eyes is going to see any major buffs as far as its power level until we get some of the newer support that just came out in the OCG, some of the overframe cards. I'm particularly thinking of like the level 10 Deep Eyes Dragon. It's actually very good for modern competitive Blue Eyes decks, but yeah, Maiden of White, welcome back to 3. This never needed to get hit in the first place, in my opinion, but we're back. Lightning Storm going back from 2 to 3. This is quite interesting, and I guess it makes sense for a best of 1 format. I personally kind of would have liked to have seen Lightning Storm stay at 2. I guess the idea here is, because I'm trying to remember, I think Lightning Storm went to 2 as part of a hit to Tenpai, right? So I guess the idea here, at least from Konami's point of view, is that, you know, with Tenpai not being as strong, going second decks in general not being as good as they once were, Lightning Storm can come back to 3. I don't inherently disagree with that for best of 1. Lightning Storm at 3, I think when side decks are involved, becomes a little bit more of an issue. But at the same time, I don't know. I wasn't super sad to see this card at 2. There's a part of me that thinks this Unlimit is a little bit unnecessary, but I also don't think it's the end of the world either. Now, this is going to be the biggest of the Unlimit changes. Snake IO coming back from 0 to 3, with no other changes to the hits to Snake Eye. Remember though, Ash is at 1, Poplar is at 1, Original Sinful Spoils is at 1, and probably most importantly is that Appaloosa is banned. So it was still legal when Snake Eye went to 0, but Snake Eye can no longer make a mid-combo Appaloosa, nor can they add it to the end board. This is not the biggest deal in the world. When I played Snake Eye back in the first round of North America Challenger Cups, there were so many games where I never made Appaloosa anyway. At the time, it was really popular for people to go IP into Appaloosa. But I would always go IP into Underworld Goddess. I felt like most of the time that was the better play anyway. So I don't think Appaloosa being banned means that Snake Eye is dead. Certainly now that Oak is back. And remember that Snake Eye Yummy is a very real thing. Even before this Unlimit, it was an archetype you would see, you know, crop up on a ranked ladder every now and then. But I think Snake Eye Yummy has some real legs now that Oak is back. And Snake Eye in general is definitely worth taking a look at. Even if Appaloosa is no longer legal, it can still spit out just as many bodies as it was before. But Yeah, I personally am hugely excited for this to come back. I do really like Snake Eye, so I'm a little bit biased there, but I also don't think it's going to end up being a problem, right? Especially, again, with Appaloosa being banned, I think we're even looking at a scenario where Snake Eye in this current form will be power crept naturally by newer stuff like Dracotale and Yummy and likely Vanquish Soul in the very near future as well. Alright, yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to say about this list. Again, I think it's really, really good. I like pretty much all of these changes. Maxx C to 1, of course, is phenomenal. Should be 0, but we'll get there. Cross to 0, I think, is actually a really good way to hit Ryzeal, and hopefully this will mean that they can get some more of their consistency cards back in the near future. Vanquish Soul stuff, getting a minor consistency hit, again, not only makes sense if we're getting Vanquish Soul support in the future, but is also a good indicator that that is coming. And then, yeah, I think all of these unlimits are fine. Lightning Storm, I think, is kind of whatever. It could be at 2 or 3. But yeah, Phantom is Maiden. These are both, like, very much deserved. And Snake Eye Oak, I think, is a very interesting unlimit. This is the exact kind of change that really makes me like how Master Duel approaches ban list changes, right? Because let's be real, if this were the TCG, Oak would be banned for another 5 years. I mean, for God's sake, Prank Kids Meow Meow Moo is still banned in the TCG. And really let that sink in for a second. Prank Kids Meow Meow Moo is still banned in the TCG. And Dark Grapher only just went to 3. So, yeah, I much prefer this format where we're giving decks a chance to shine at moments where they're, like, power crept but still have a lot of potential, right? I think this is a fantastic unlimit. And I think even if we live in the worst case scenario where, like, Oak's a huge problem, Snake Eye is tier 1 OP again, not gonna happen. But let's say we live in this hypothetical world and Oak needs to get banned on, like, the next list again, I would be okay with that. I would much rather Konami experiment with this kind of thing, and even if it's a problem, just hit it again. I think that's a perfectly valid way to go, and I think it's preferable to, again, TCG, where you have these non-issue cards just sitting on the ban list for years and years and years, because Konami doesn't want you to, you know, buy out an old deck for cheap when you can buy a new deck for expensive. Anyway. Yeah, so that is going to be all of my thoughts on this ban list. It's a really, really good one. But as always, I'm eager to hear from you in the comments below. Not going to do an outro, I think, for this one. I just want to upload it ASAP. So I'm just going to take this moment at the end to thank all of our YouTube members and Patreon subscribers. Huge support that they offer for the channel. And I would not be able to make the time to upload every day if I didn't have that support. So really want to give a huge shout out to all of you who have joined as a YouTube member and or subscribed on the Patreon. In edited videos, we thank them in the outro, but again, I'm just going to try to get this video out ASAP, so I'm going to do literally 0 editing on it. But huge thanks to not only those supporters, but also you for watching all the way till the very end of the video. Huge props for that. But that's going to do it for now. This is Hexlex. I am signing out, and also hoping that you have a fantastic day.